So welcome back to Late Night Conspiracies, everybody. We gotta talk about these alien twats. Like, what the hell is going on right now with those UFOs, with these drones, whatever you wanna call it. There's also a massive conspiracy coming straight up from Antarctica that I think you guys are really gonna enjoy, and let's just jump into it. Shout out to every single one of you for all the likes and all the love that you guys are showing recently. If you're new here, please don't subscribe. I just post random stuff. But if you love your mama, drop a like. Shout out to the homie Barry Step. Let's see if this is Project Bluebeam or Project Blue Balls. Roll it.
What the f is this, bro? What the f is this? Why are they over a cemetery?
It's almost like the drones are being dropped off by some kind of UFO. Oh, damn. What the hell?
Hey, y'all better get right with God, man.
Your Trump gotta impose a tax on these aliens.
Yes, come here. Look at this. The cops are down here saying we have to go back to our houses because they don't want us to film it.
What the hell? It's America! Film it! It's America!
Yo, something big is finna happen, bro.
Project Blue Balls or what you guys thinking? But nah, the sightings are absolutely insane. Some of them are clearly drones, but some of them are not necessarily
How do you film
drones.
something like that in your backyard and then just go in and turn the lights off and go to bed like everything's normal? That'd be terrifying to see something like that over your house. It looks like that company that sells sunlight at night. And what's the deal with the cops telling everyone they're not allowed to film it? That just sounds to me like they've been given that order to stir up conspiracies.
The Trade Center's designers tried to anticipate every possible disaster. The towers were the first skyscrapers ever built explicitly to survive the impact of a plane. Explicitly to survive the impact of a plane.
We had designed the project for the impact of our largest airplane of its time, the Boeing 707. That is to take this jet airplane, run it into the building, destroy a lot of structure, and still have it stand
explicitly up. To survive the impact of a plane.
It was an inside job. One, if you believe that. Two, if you don't. I mean, it was an inside job, but what do you believe?
Explicitly to survive the impact of a plane.
Explicitly designed to survive the impact of a plane. Well, they either failed miserably, or there's more to that day than we're being told. I think we all know what the answer is to this question. Hey, don't forget to hit like and subscribe.
I do believe that eventually, like 100 years later, they're gonna reveal it, but not necessarily now. And before we jump into the Antarctica conspiracy, I want to also show you guys this. Let the public know, and now, otherwise shoot them down is something Donald Trump said. Source, Daily Mail. Now, this is one of those clips, and there's another clip after this one that is definitely gonna baffle you. Roll it.
That's not as big as the dot in the middle. Yeah, it's not as big anymore. It looks like a line with a dot in the middle. I bet!
It just vanished. I just watched it vanish from the telescope.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mom, get the camera!
Alright,
Were you videoing?
Mom, get the camera! Now, let me show you the second clip. My uncle posted this on Facebook last night. He's in Ohio. Thought it might have been those spotlights you see at events, but he's in a small town and said nothing. What's happening? Roll it. Reflection or... Okay, I'm not sure about these, but you saw it go live, right? Run it back, yeah. That's clearly something different. That's not a... Yeah, that's not a drone. That's something clearly. And they're coming back. It's just one loop, guys. The video is not yet looped. Now it is looped. Now it's running over, but you saw that. Let's actually jump back into the Antarctica conspiracy. But, guys, real quick, if you do have Instagram or Twitter or X, links are always down below. It would be my pleasure and honor to have a stud muffin like you or a baddie like you there, okay? All right, let's get back to the content here, boo-boo.
If you haven't already, and check out my merch store at barry-step.com.
Holy cow, this is so mind-blowing that my head actually hurts. In Antarctica, NASA has just discovered what might be a parallel universe where time flows backwards. Here's the wild part. They weren't even looking for this. They just had their NASA balloon out in Antarctica in the crystal clear air, searching for cosmic particles. And then something impossible happened, literally impossible, that defies the laws of physics as we know them. So there are these high energy particles called tau neutrinos, and typically they come down from space. But what they discovered was that these things were actually coming up from Earth, like watching water flow uphill. Something that, again, breaks the laws of physics as we know them. But science...
Trump gotta impose a tax on these aliens. If we're paying taxes, if we're paying taxes, these aliens gotta pay taxes too, bro. Come on now, man. Come on, these aliens gotta pay taxes.
But maybe they aren't moving upwards. Maybe instead they're moving backwards through time. And apparently the simplest and most logical explanation for this is that it's a parallel universe that was born at the same time ours was during the Big Bang. But here's the kicker. In that universe, if you dropped your phone, it would unshatter and go back in your hand. If you spilled your coffee, it would flow backwards into the cup. Basically take everything we know about time and flip it and reverse it. Now, somewhere in this mirror universe, there could be beings looking at us saying, these guys are living life backwards. This is an absolutely insane discovery. I just hope it's not like the Upside Down and we've opened some parallel door.
I feel like I've
recently started watching Stranger Things, and man, I recently started watching, right? And yeah, it has a lot of those MK Ultra, mind control, remote viewing conspiracies into it, and I believe that's why and of course the writing is actually very good. So, you know, real life conspiracy mixed in with some fiction stuff, it's just like a blast, right? And especially during times like these, of course it's gonna work.
heard the phrase breaks our laws of physics so much here lately that it's starting to look like our laws of physics need to be readdressed. Maybe we don't have as much figured out as we think we do.
Do you see what I see? This is right now, Christmas weekend, military aircraft over the United States.
No.
I've tried to make this video 3 times and it keeps freezing me up in the app. It's never done that before. Last night, Vice President Harris and Uncle Joe decided to cancel Christmas trips
Uncle Joe?
and stayed in Washington, D.C. I don't give in to many theories, but this has my interest piqued. As a licensed student pilot, you understand that aircraft tell a story. This is a sub hunter on the East Coast right now. This is a refueler. Another refueler right now over the East Coast. Another sub hunter above New York. Another sub on the East Coast in North Carolina. Christmas weekend, President and Vice President cancel trips, stay in Washington, and this is the most sub hunters I've ever seen up in one day.
Oh man, looks like we're really gonna be getting aliens before GTA 6, right? Man. But if the aliens come down though, like, we're gonna hit them up with some Nesquik and some chicken nuggets though. And they would say, like, it's busing, like the kids would say nowadays. If you got kids, your kids probably do say that, right? I mean, it's one of those things, man. Capping? I don't know, man.
What do they know that they're not telling us?
Something is suspicious.
There is no such thing as coincidence.
Something is suspicious.
Obviously, this is not to put fear out there. This is just saying, hey, something's up. And
I also want to, you know, spread this message around. At the end of the day, it's going to be all right. It is going to be all right. So don't panic. But we demand answers. We demand answers. Now, something is surely going on, right? Some people are calling them drones, UFOs, right? I think it's, I said it a million times, I think it's a mix of both. But the fact that there this much military aircraft, what's the word, traffic around and presence around, something is up. They are investigating. Something is going on.
it's a lot of aircraft that are up right now.
He keeps saying these planes are sub-hunters. I don't know much about planes. Does this mean that they're planes that search for submarines? If so, then they're likely out there looking for the location that these orbs are rising up out of the ocean from.
26-year-old whistleblower who blew the whistle on OpenAI's copyright infringement has been found dead in his apartment. Suchir Balaji was a former employee at OpenAI, and he made waves earlier this year when he blew the whistle, saying, hey, they are just violating copyright law left and right. Which we know, but having an employee come out and be like, y'all, like, it's truly ridiculous how much copyright violation is going on. is that this is going to automate creativity. To what end? Money? Why? What do we need money for if we can automate everything? AI 100% has a place in modern day, and it has had a place in modern day for quite some time. It's been a thing. It's been a part of our daily lives for the past more than a decade. It's just recently we put a mouth on it, and that had a wow factor that they're now cramming into everything. So like, I'm not going to say there's no value.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, AI is definitely easing a lot of daily tasks, and it's going up. For example, if you guys heard about it, like Elon Musk is going to be launching the Tesla bot, right, next year or in 2 years from now, or, you know, if it gets delayed, let's just put it this way, in 3 years time, people are going to start to buy. And if it runs the way it's intended to, or the way they want it to, it's going to cut out a lot of the daily tasks, and it's going to, you know, it's gonna help people out. But to what extent? To what end? Now, surely you must have heard the quote, everything has the equal and opposite reaction. And it's so true though, because you know, if it goes wrong, then there's gonna be an issue. No, I'm more of a optimistic guy on this one, but when you got execs like Elon Musk, right, very famous line of Elon Musk, and during one of the interview, he said something along those lines of, I'm gonna paraphrase, I don't remember the exact quote, he said something along the lines of, hey, I tried to warn them, I tried to tell them to stop, but it's too late now, and they're not listening. It's too late now. I believe he said that during Joe Rogan podcast. I believe in his very first Joe Rogan podcast. Could be wrong. You guys can correct me. And now he's making Tesla bot, and he said that it's not going to be able to run more than 5 miles or 5 kilometers per hour. So there's a reason behind it, folks. Yeah, if something goes wrong, at least you can outrun it.
To anything AI. At the same time, why are we rushing so hard in this one direction with it, when we could instead be going any other direction? How many people in this world need access to the ability to generate video at a whim? Is that the best use of our time and energy?
It's starting to look like being suicidal is a requirement for being a whistleblower. How are these suicides not at the very least investigated as suspicious deaths? This keeps happening over and over, and we're just supposed to look past it like there's no possible chance that something nefarious is going on.
What's a coincidence that you think about a lot?
I think about how a lot of the banks that received bailouts back in 2008 were heavily invested in by BlackRock. And that the person that the US government put in charge of managing those bailouts was Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock. And also how one of the people who's credited with at least a good chunk of the popularity of subprime mortgage-backed securities, which is the type of investment that caused that collapse in the first place, was Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock. That's a weird coincidence. I mean, it almost would look as if the US government paid Larry Fink to give himself taxpayer money as a reward for destroying the world economy. I mean, it would look that way if it weren't such a coincidence.
This makes about as much sense as putting the guy in charge of gain-of-function research in charge of stopping the virus that was caused by the gain-of-function research, supposedly. Just another shining example of the incompetence of the U.S. federal government.
Okay, do you remember the arc reactor from Iron Man? Yeah. This guy just built a real-life version, which I'm going to show you, that I saw in real life. And he just broke a record in fusion with it. This is about his company. The company is called Quantum Kinetics Corporation. You could see their YouTube videos. He has a book called The Quantum Kinetic Well, which you could learn about this clean energy or cold fusion thing going on. This guy even has a paper in Nature. Basically, this machine can help clean our air, clean our water, help the nuclear waste not be radioactive, can make cars run better. It can even help with a certain travel that I cannot get into. But
wait, what? What? But can a brother get an Iron Man suit though? Yo, I want that Iron Man suit, man.
This can literally change our world. Science fiction became reality, guys. So I got to see it in real life. This is the real actual model. Like, it actually works. And a video will come out soon where I got to touch the knob to make it work. This guy's story is incredible. Basically, he got in a horrible car accident and something kind of switched in his brain. I think he has acquired savant syndrome, where he literally almost started to channel these ideas. And now he's breaking records. This is going to change the world. The problem is science, mainstream science, does not like this. It is either hard to understand or it's just too simple to believe.
I mean, if it's gonna help humanity, they're gonna try everything they can in their power to stop this man. I'm saying protect this man at all costs if he's trying to do good for humanity, and it seems like that way, but I'm waiting for the catch, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully there's no catch.
You guys need to tell everyone you know about this guy in this company, because once you understand it, you can't unsee it. Once you see how simple the answer is, you're gonna wonder why we make it so hard for ourselves.
Yeah.
But we're human, that's what we do. And yeah, I had a super secret meeting in Seattle to see all of this and learn the secrets. The video will be out soon on YouTube of the whole...
This guy's name is McCain B. Lee. We all need to remember that name because we're probably all going to see it again in the paper soon claiming that he offed himself. That's the direction all these guys go in whenever they create some revolutionary new technology that makes it easier to...
That's why I'm saying protect that man at all cost. Protect that man at all costs.
To obtain energy. Hopefully this technology actually sees the light of day.
New Jersey residents are now reporting birds flying in highly unusual patterns, migrating by the thousands out of New Jersey just over the last couple of days. I don't normally inject my opinions, but when I do, I need my hat. First off, birds are highly in tune with magnetic fields. It's how they migrate in the first place. So when something unusual happens to the magnetic field, it can cause them to behave in the way you see here. Now, we've seen this happen before, recently on cruise ships in the Gulf of Mexico, only a few days before the last hurricane made landfall. A hurricane, I might add, that went completely against natural weather patterns. Coincidentally, researchers pointed out strange lasers beaming in the area from these towers, which some critics claim was there to direct the storm's path. If you believe in that sort of thing, not saying I do. What does this have to do with New York and New Jersey? Well, coincidentally, in this area, we have these towers here.
No, I never been to New Jersey, right? Like, some people are saying it's normal, and to a certain degree, it's normal. Birds do migrate, but people that are filming these videos, they're like, hey, they've never seen something like this to this degree, to this extent. And those of you that, I mean, have the knowledge or have seen birds migrate, is this normal? Is this normal? Is it how it works? And now we're seeing like different clips as well. Like a lot of these birds are flying around and something is going on. Something is fishy though. Something is suspect, right? Now, I want to know your expertise on it for sure. Any NASA employee watching, let us know you're not a straight answer, because get it? NASA, not a straight answer? Bruh. All right, let's roll it.
And as you likely know, this is where the drone sightings are. And if I were to be the kind of person to wear this sort of hat, I'd say one possibility for this possible magnetic disruption affecting these birds is that they are using these towers to bring one heck of a storm to this area, or trying to attract something else.
Uh-oh.
Side note, since I'm already wearing the hat and I have about 30 seconds left to film, in April of this year, this area experienced a very rare 4.8 magnitude earthquake. They came out in the news saying they discovered a new fault line, which could explain the highest magnitude earthquake recorded in the area for the last several hundred years. Could this have something to do with any of this? Well, we'll find out. That's a video for next time.
This makes me wonder if the orbs are altering the magnetic field in the area, or if the natural change in our magnetic field is the reason that these things are in the sky to begin with. Maybe they're preparing for the next world-altering event, or trying to warn us that one's coming because the powers that be aren't letting us know what's going on, and the magnetic field acting up is just a sign of what's to come.
So you think the 24-hour sun in Antarctica debunks the flat Earth, do you? Well, what if I were to tell you we have a physical working model of the 24-hour sun in Antarctica?
I can show it happening in this model. From what I'm seeing of the sun in their footage, it's matching what I see when I do it in here.
I want all my flat earthers to be here. A quick little thought though, right? Like, how many of you actually believe in flat earth? I don't. I just want to say that. But if you do, you do that. I mean, like, listen, man, I welcome everybody with open arms, with all the like, I want to know your expertise right on it. So if you're a flat earther, yeah, I definitely want your expertise on it. Like, what's the main reason you believe the earth is flat, right? What's that main reason? Give me your biggest reason for it. Let me know in the comments.
That to me is just cool.
This light way back here on the edge of the superfluid ceiling, I'm gonna zoom in on that, and then I'm gonna move the sun clockwise around Capricorn and show you that with the superfluid ceiling inside of the dome, the apparent 24-hour sun does happen. So now I'm zoomed all the way in, you see the light moving, and when I move around Capricorn, see, you get that apparent counterclockwise motion. 24-hour sun.
I want you to notice that in both real life and in the model, the sun will squash as it comes down toward the horizon. Kind of how rainbows in the north are really high up and domey, and then the further you travel south, they start to squash down further and further. The claim is that the Earth is a sphere and has a 24-hour sun both in the north and the south, yet the northern 24-hour sun looks like the sun barely gets off of the horizon. In fact, the highest elevation angle for the 24-hour sun in the north is only 23.5 degrees. And what do you know it? It's exactly the same symmetrically for the south, supposedly. Yet during the final experiment, this is about 23.5 degrees, yet the sun keeps climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing in elevation and climbing and climbing and climbing until it's about, I don't know, 40, 45 degrees or something? So what do you think? Is the Earth a globe? Or have we figured out with an actual physical working model that a 24-hour sun is actually possible on a flat Earth? I'll let you decide.
And this is what I mean when I say that the flat earth community has an answer for everything. I don't know that this video proves that a 24-hour sun would still work on a flat earth model, but at least somebody has an explanation of how it would supposedly work, and it makes sense.
The church had become so corrupted, it no longer resembled the original Christian faith started by Jesus and the apostles. And now the people had Bibles in their own language. They could see for themselves the misrepresentation. Not only could they see the church extorted money from the people, but also noticed all the similarities between the Catholic Pope and the persecuting Antichrist system of the Bible.
Oh, man.
Martin Luther wrote, and I quote, "I'm practically cornered and can hardly doubt anymore that the Pope is really the Antichrist, because everything so exactly corresponds to the way of his life, actions, words, and commandments." Luther also said, "We here are of the conviction that the papacy is the seat of the true and real Antichrist. Personally, I declare that I owe the Pope no other obedience than that to Antichrist." Further, he said, "I already feel greater liberty in my heart, for at last I know that the Pope is the Antichrist, and that his throne is that of Satan himself." William Tyndale said, when speaking about the papal office, "It is impossible to preach Christ except thou preach against Antichrist." He also said, "I defy the Pope and all his laws. If God spare my life many years, I will cause a boy who drives the plow to know more of the scriptures than he does." Another reformer, John Calvin, said, "Some persons think us too severe and censorious when we call the Roman pontiff Antichrist." John Wesley, who started the Methodist Church, stated in his writings over 100 times the Pope was Antichrist. He said, "He is in emphatical sense the man of sin, as he increases all manner of sin above measure. And he is, too, properly styled the son of perdition, as he has caused the death of numberless multitudes, both of his opposers and followers." He also said, "Yea, we doubt not to prove the kingdom of the Pope to be the kingdom and power of Antichrist." Another reformer, John Knox, said, "That tyranny which the Pope himself has for so many ages exercised over the church, he is the very Antichrist and son of perdition of whom Paul speaks." An early reformer...
Now, I'm not a Christian, so I definitely want to know your take on it. The way I see it is that follow God, not people. Follow God, not its creation. Simple as that. Simple as that. Guys, check out this video on the screen. This is the last episode that we've done, and they actually captured this thing on camera. Check it out, and I'll see you there. It's definitely gonna baffle the living crap out of you.